welcome. It is March 20th. It is 5:04. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, parents. I have the attendees' mics muted until we get to the part where we can ask some questions, just to kind of support when people come in that the mics aren't on so it doesn't like interrupt the conversation while we're talking through the slides. Please check into the meeting. I'll have this slide back up towards the end so we can make sure that if you have questions, comments, or concerns that we can support around making sure your student has their FAFSAs completed, if they need anything around supporting them completing any applications, things around completing their community service hours, that you have a space and a place where you can ask those questions and get some responses. So please use the QR code on the screen. I will also bring the QR code back up at the end to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to put a place for questions. So that's like our little parking lot in the sense that we're in a virtual space. Alrighty. Every mission and vision that we create and come up with at a school is meant to improve the students that we support. And at Ballou, our mission is to nurture your students' growth in a safe, supportive, and inclusive environment. Our challenging, diverse, and engaging learning experiences inspire curiosity, build confidence, and prepare your students for success. Our vision here is a school where strong relationships, technology, and open access to culturally relevant opportunities fuel your students' future success. And our success window is opening soon. We're 77 days, I believe, to June 5th, and so much closer to June 11th, which is our graduation date. So we're looking forward to it. All right. I have a super special request that we complete our Ballou Family Panorama Survey. This spring, Ms. Hood, who is our Connected to Schools manager, asked that we project and ask families to complete this. I will also, closer to mid-meeting, drop this into our chat so that you all are able to see this in the chat, have access to it. But this is our panorama survey. So your opinion supports how we adjust and make changes at Ballou to make sure that future students have just as successful time here as your students have, and that we are making adjustments to make sure that everyone else has a great opportunity to world-class education. All right, our agenda. I have some housekeeping things to do. We're going to talk about community service. There'll be an update for our final events, and then I'll have some time for us to have some questions and perhaps provide some answers. But first things first, community service hours. Our students need community service hours to graduate. If your student does not have the 100 hours that are required, they are not graduate ready, meaning that they cannot graduate from a DCPS school without 100 service hours. Our point person is Miss Sally Leroy. She serves as our school professional counselor, also affectionately known as our guidance counselor. But she is our person that will have your students' hours. She also is the person who records your students' hours. So we have been asking, we had a meeting yesterday with your students in our auditorium. Your students are well aware of the fact that they need 100 hours. There are maybe 18 students who still have 0 hours inside of the transcript system called Aspen, and we need them to get their community service hours. This is not a let's wait until the last minute opportunity. They need to complete them now. At school, we have Night Minds Matter. This takes place every Monday and Wednesday. It is an hour after school with Ms. Spencer and Ms. Jackson, our media specialists. So if students would like to get an hour there, they are more than welcome to do so. Originally, we had been redirecting your students to TRAP, but the TRAP community service hours, as of this week, the personnel there has said that they don't have as much available space. So they have kind of like closed off the opportunity, but there are still plenty of places that your student can volunteer. Take, for example, if they went to any of the middle schools that's around Ballou or any of the elementary schools, they can always go and offer their volunteer services there. Just come and see Miss Sally Leroy. Mr. Larson, who's our Pathways Coordinator, or our CTA Director, Dr. Ruffin, for more support around our community service efforts. Graduation requirements. Our students need 24 Carnegie units in the respective subjects in order to graduate. If your student has been placed in a class, it is a class that they need to graduate. Please, please implore upon them that they need to go to all their classes, stay in all their classes every single day. I know we've coming across the spring. Hopefully it'll warm up and stay warm, but senioritis is a real thing, and we all understand because we've all been there, but we're going to have to fight that with all our might, because in DCPS, we have something called the FA, which is failure to attend. If your student misses more than 30 days unexcused from any particular class, they fail automatically. So it won't be a matter of, oh, you know, they turned in all the assignments, they've done all the work. They will fail simply because they weren't present. I know first period is a tough one. Classes start at 9. That means students should be in their seats at 9 o'clock, not walking through the door, not going grab breakfast, not checking out things in my locker. We should already be in our seats. Our doors open generally around 8:15, 8:20 every morning, so there's ample amount of time for us to get breakfast. There's time for us to go to our lockers and do all the things that we need to take care of before 9 a.m. The ask is that your student is in their first period seats at 9 a.m. ready to receive instruction. So please make sure that you're sending your seniors on time, especially if they have a first period class, because those classes all count and they all matter, or they would not have been scheduled for them. Attendance. If you are missing school, I got a doctor's appointment, I didn't feel well, I was sick, please have your seniors return with a note. There are blank attendance notes in 2 places on the floor. We have some in 2005, which is the suite for the senior class. And then in the middle of the floor, there is a display for all things senior, and there is a pocket folder that has blank attendance notes. If your student has been absent, please remind them to grab a blank attendance note if you have not written one, so that they can turn it in to Ms. Walker. Ms. Walker is our 12th grade attendance counselor, and she'll be the person to support making sure that your student's attendance is excused. After 3 days, you should be receiving some contact from your students' teachers, expressing that, you know, they haven't seen your student for one reason or another. Please make sure that you're kind of staying in contact with those teachers to make sure that these aren't first periods and fourth periods, because those have been our classes that we haven't really seen our seniors kind of like thriving in as much. And I want to make sure that they're receiving the credits that they need to stay on track to graduate. Additionally, today is Payday Friday. I forgot to post because I had a million things going, but you should be able to ask your senior, hey, what do you have in this class? And they should be able to tell you what grade they have in every single class that they take at Ballou High School. Today is Payday Friday, and all teachers should have shared their progress reports with their students, allowing them to either revise, make up, or complete assignments today so that their grades could be brought up to date inside of their grade book. So please make sure you're checking in with your students every other Friday to know what their grades are. Our term 3 advisory, or term 3, ends on April 3rd. All right, school's not over. I know some of us have turned 18 and we're super excited about being almost adults, but not quite almost. But students should be in uniform Monday through Thursday. They should have on either Ballou paraphernalia. So we've got on like a Ballou sweatshirt, we've got on Ballou sweatpants, Ballou tights, we've got on Ballou tracksuits, or we have on our polos, or we have on khakis. Students should be in uniform. We are not hanging out Monday through Thursday. Your students should not be leaving home in the clothes they kick it in on Saturday. We need to see our students in uniform, and our color for seniors is blue. So please make sure that they are in navy blue in terms of the top, and our bottoms of choice are khakis. So we are still wearing uniforms. Students are not permitted to sell anything We're talking food, oils, jewelry, anything at school without first obtaining permission. Students have been explained how to obtain permission. Please do not allow your students to come to school with excess of merchandise. It will be confiscated, and they are not permitted to sell things at school without prior approval. Our dues, we are in an a la carte menu. For those of us who were able to pay early in the school season, you may have picked a package. So we had gold packages, we had bronze packages, and we had silver packages. If you bought a gold package, everything except for our senior trip, your students' actual pictures, and things like their announcements and other miscellaneous things came with their package. All graduates are required to purchase their cap, gown, diploma cover, class t-shirt, class gift, and class pin, and that price is $175. Additional items are now a la carte, meaning that they can be purchased individually. So the yearbook, the senior cookout, the prom, senior brunch, the capping ceremony dinner, all of those things are now being sold as individual items that students can purchase. After April 1st, all prices except for our senior brunch will increase by $50. The reason why the senior brunch won't increase is because it will have already passed. So senior brunch is coming up. All right. Our off-campus lunch, we are on hold. Based on students not being able to responsibly get lunch and return to campus on time, being respectful of staff redirection, and following initial directives for consumption of outside food on campus during lunchtime, we're going to be on hold. We'll review this at spring break to see if the senior class can manage having off-campus lunch. But right now we are on hold. So there shouldn't be any movement of your students unless they are already authorized for off-campus based off of their schedule. In terms of just off-campus lunch, right now we are on hold for students leaving the building to go get lunch and come back. On March 24th, it'll be our 126th day of school. So we're going to celebrate by wearing our swag. I've also invited the entire Baloo staff to participate in this so that we can all celebrate our seniors and this kind of like big moment as we inch and get closer and closer to graduation. So on next Tuesday, we will all be decked out in our most elaborate 2026 apparel. So please make sure you remind your senior that that day is coming up. And next Tuesday, we will be in our best 2026 outfits. On next Wednesday, we will have last chance photos. Mr. Thomas looks like he's on pause. So I'll speak to the last chance photos. If your senior was not present and or they were someone who just kind of got thrown in terms of like our scheduling and didn't kind of like love the picture that they got, they have an opportunity to take their photos again so that they can get closer to a picture that they are in love with to capture their senior year. So we will have last chance photos next Wednesday. The photographs have been set up with a schedule. Mr. Thomas is our point person for that. And he's already shared the schedule with students, and it is going to be posted on the floor on Monday. Next Thursday is the senior brunch. So this is why it won't be increasing in price after April 1st, because it happens before April 1st. So our senior brunch, it is going to be a whole event. I'm super excited about this. Like I started putting together the like pieces that go across the tables this morning. So like I'm so excited about our senior brunch. It is going to be Bridgerton themed. If your student is not a gold member, they still have an opportunity to purchase a ticket. The last day for that will be on Monday, March 23rd, so that we have an accurate count for how many, plates, cups, drinks, all the things that we need. The event, it takes place at 11 o'clock in our dance studio. And this will be one for the records. I'm super excited. We have one of our teachers who's volunteered to support by way of teaching our students like a dance. So if you haven't seen Bridgerton on Netflix, please check it out. But I'm super excited about it. And I think our kids will really, really enjoy the opportunity. The attire, it needs to be spring friendly. So this is tea apparel, befitting the occasion. So we're looking for florals, pastels, and fashionable elegance are most encouraged. But please do not go and buy like a huge prom dress. Like this is not that. This is supposed to be something to just kind of like bring in the spring. I know some kids have already like shown me some of their outfits, so I think we're on the right track, but please do not go out and like make this a prom dress on top of the prom dress. But it should be tea wear. All right. Next Friday on March 27th, we have a SheTV pop-up. It is our March Madness. So we will have another event right after Bridgerton that is open to all of our students, where we will have tons of fun. There'll be live entertainment, food, and it's free for all of our seniors. We will have businesses there. There should be a band there. There'll be some kind of pop-ups as it relates to like entrepreneurship, and there's a whole like array of things. There will be some prom vendors there, and some prom prep stuff. So this will be a whole event. Please make sure that your senior is at school next Friday, March 27th, for the SheTV pop-up that will take place. On May 15th, we have our prom. The prom name has been changed due to our current kind of geopolitical kind of situation. I made the executive decision that we would edit our prom theme. We are still going to keep the same color schemes, the same essence of all the things that we had originally planned with the night in Dubai, but we are changing the name to the Premiere Midnight in the Oasis, to support the fact that we are in the nation's capital, and our senior who supports as our class president was like, oh, we changed it because it's culturally insensitive. And I was like, absolutely, baby, that is exactly why we changed it, because it's culturally insensitive. So I am going to lead with what our class president, Kamaria Morton, said, and that is kind of the essence of why we changed it. But nothing else has changed, just literally the title. So it is the Premiere Midnight in the Oasis for the class of 2026. Our senior trip, if your student is still interested in going, will be on May 27th through the 28th. It is an overnight trip. The funds are due by March 31st. The total is $250. It is to the American Dream Mall. On the first day, there's an overnight element where we'll be staying in a hotel. And then the second day, we'll be going to Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. So all the tickets and information for New Jersey have been included in the $250. The hotel is included in the price, and our transportation to and from are included in the $250. What is not included is what we are doing at American Dream Mall. Reason being, there are a million things to do at American Dream Mall. If you've ever seen Mall of America, this is kind of like that, except it's in New Jersey. So there's a Nickelodeon Universe theme park. There's a DreamWorks water park. There is a Big Snow indoor ski resort. There are like escape rooms, there are shops, restaurants, and it's a full mall. It's a regular kind of mall and a luxury upscale mall. So instead of trying to pigeonhole the kids into doing one particular event at the mall has so many things to do. We've left kind of like all the options open for the mall because there are so many things to do. So that is not included in the 250. Graduation, it will be on June 11th. Our tickets will be 10 per graduate. In terms of needing additional tickets, that is something that families and students will have to kind of navigate as like a school class. In terms of the school, we will be providing 10 tickets per graduate, and all other kind of like configurations of that will have to be done kind of like on an individual student to student basis in terms of needing more than 10 tickets. Our graduation begins at 12. Because it is at Dar Constitution Hall, they are suggesting that we take the metro, that we do some kind of ride share, because parking is very much so limited and or only at parking garages that may or may not be full, kind of based on how the schedule runs that day. There will be other schools that will graduate with us. Graduation will be 1 hour. So we will start at 12 o'clock and graduation will be over at 1 o'clock. We are in a very tight window. And from the graduation meeting that was held this winter, there isn't very much wiggle room in terms of us having a whole bunch of like fanfare and kind of like lingering, because the next graduation starts, I believe, at 3 o'clock, and the graduation before us begins at 9. So there's not a whole bunch of time in between the graduations, but they want to make sure that everyone's families are able to celebrate their students. So our graduation runtime is 1 hour. All right, we need support. Time to get involved. So we are looking for the following support from families. So if you could, if you are available on Wednesday, March 25th, we need help with getting students capped and gowned during our photo session. And then we need help on Wednesday with setup for the senior brunch for Bridgerton. And then on Thursday, we need help with servers and cleanup for brunch. So we need 6 parents to support our senior brunch, and we need 2 parents to support our photo session on Wednesday. If you are available and can, if you just put your student's name in the chat, I will follow up with you and also send your information to Ms. Van Ness. If not, I'm still going to reach out to see if we can get 8 parents in total to support us next week, because it is a lot of stuff and we're going to be jam-packed with a lot of different events. And I want to make sure that we have as much and as many people and hands on deck to ensure that our students get our full attention next week. Our next meeting will be Friday, April 24th. 2026. It'll be at 5 p.m. It'll be via Teams. So our April meeting will be the last virtual meeting. Following that, the May meeting will be in person. And then our graduation family meeting will be in June. I want us to also make sure that we are using Instagram to look at our senior calendar. It is a living calendar. So as you talk to your senior, please make sure that they're able to log in so that they're looking at the calendar. So for example, next week on Tuesday, we have day 126. Next Wednesday, we have our yearbook pictures and last chance for senior pictures. Next Thursday, it's our 2K26 day with our senior brunch. And then on the 27th, it's our She TV pop-up. In April, we also have a jam-packed month where we'll start off with our spring bunny hop. We'll start off with our 2K26 fish fry, and then we'll jump to our spring bunny hop right before spring break. And then we'll come back and I'll have a student meeting, and then I'll follow up with a parent meeting. And then we'll work on our Level Up conference as our students prepare to get ready for their next levels. And then we'll have 3D Market Day on April 30th. May 1st, we'll have Stomp the Yard, our decision day. And then from there, we're on a roll. So I don't know if you looked at your calendar, but these days are going to go really fast. So please make sure that you're staying kind of in the loop on Instagram, in your parent square, because our mission is June 2026 and beyond. Please follow us on Instagram. If you have not already, please complete the survey. It is imperative that we get your information to support. And then at this time, I'm going to take us off of mute and allow us to come on to the mic if we have any questions that we did not put in the chat, or if there's anything that we may need